So, I've been thinking recently about how a lot of people don't think about the balance of options. That because you do one thing, something else must happen. And oftentimes that's a negative action. That an action isn't taken because one action is. And I don't know exactly how to talk about it, but I feel like that as a teenager, I didn't really get that. I didn't really feel like I understood that. But in college, I'm really beginning to understand that, say, for example, because I put some time into talking with friends while I ate lunch that day, I wasn't able to read some pages in a textbook. Sure, later on I was able to read those same pages, but it's that you can't get something else by doing one thing. You have to do something more later if you expect to get that same thing. Sometimes there's deadlines when it comes to actions. There's a specific amount of time that you can take to get to a solution before that action cannot be taken anymore, or at least meaningful action can't be taken. And I don't want to get into controversy, but I'm feeling that way about climate change and the environment. And I really don't think it matters what you believe when it comes to science or what you think applies as evidence. See, I'm looking at the mountains right now and I'm seeing snow. And you can't see that. And you have to take my word for it. That, or you just can choose not to believe that there's snow on the mountains. Although, really, I guess you could look it up otherwise. But there's another thing, is that actions about the environment that we live in matter. And it goes down the same path that if we don't take certain actions now, or we do take certain actions now, for example, just a little thing of picking up a piece of plastic and throwing it in the trash, that might not seem like a lot, but in the decision to keep walking forward rather than to spend a few more calories, bend down, pick up another piece of trash, that's one less piece of plastic that finds its way to a waterway, gets degraded, and ends up being pollution. And I know it's not convenient, and I know it's not up to people everywhere to make that kind of a decision at every moment of the day. We're going to miss plastic on the side of the road. But it's that little example of the action not taken having consequences in inaction. And I feel like the same applies with every environment that we live in. Action or inaction, things have consequences. There's risk to certain action, and there's reward to others. There's actually both. Any action takes a risk. Any action has a reward. Whether or not you take the time to sift out those actions and evaluate those risks, it really does matter in life. And that's, I'm kind of trying to lead up to, this is why I'm going to college. Because I've evaluated that there is a risk to me not getting an education that I might regret not being able to do something and have an inaction because of my ability, not because of my choice to get something done. If that makes sense. I want to have an education so I can take actions and get something done where my meaningful effort is applied before any effort I might apply to solve a problem is meaningless. And I'm a geography major. I've got a focus in environmental science. I clearly have a passion. I clearly have bias in my life when it comes to the decisions I think are important. And I hope that you, as a listener, understand that everybody has different motivations for the problems they want to solve, even though the outcome might be the same. Someone might be entirely personally motivated to get something done because it benefits them. And that's it. That's all they care about. The individual. And then you might have people on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. They don't care about if the work that they're putting into a problem actually helps them. They only care if it helps others. You know? And there's a balance in between where, honestly, I think that I can understand both perspectives. There have been times where I've thought to myself, I don't have the energy to put into solving everyone's problems. I have to take my own priority first. That way I can continue on and help others in the long run. And I believe in volunteering. I believe in solving problems. I believe in understanding that there's always something that can be done. But like I was saying in the beginning, by doing one action, you set yourself up to not being able to do another in that present moment. And I think it's really good to evaluate whether or not those actions really matter in that moment. And sometimes it might be simple, little, inconsequential actions. For example, when I was in high school, I played a lot of video games. And I don't play as many video games anymore. Because I understand that those actions are not going to get me to where I want to be. I'm not saying that video games are bad. I enjoy them still, but I appreciate them a lot more when I understand that this is a moment in my time where there isn't a lot of other actions I can be taking at this moment. I might as well take some time, relax, unplug from the stress that I have, and enjoy a puzzle game, enjoy a video game, or maybe even enjoy a book. And I'm rambling, but I think that's kind of the whole point of me even having a camera recording this, is that I've had some thoughts that I feel like I need to get out. And I would not want to lose these, because they're relevant, and they're really relevant right now in college, when sometimes this action leads to inaction on another front. Applies to me right now. Fortunately, I have a lot of time, and I'm just waiting for a shuttle to show up. Speaking of which, there's the shuttle. All right then. Well, I guess now my time of inaction is done, so anyway, thanks for watching if you are, and thanks for listening if you don't actually have the video up, but just have my voice on. And, all right, see ya.